Arlo, Etta, and Friends. We're going to go ahead and finish off that silhouette. What I wanted to show you is how it comes out once you add your silhouette. So this one I did separate, but it's going to come out with like a similarity to what you did. Okay, so we got the two pups here. So I'm going to move that painting. And we're going to go back down with your painting. I was thinking the next one we can do is a sketch, because I feel like the sketch would be kind of fun. You don't have to set up paints and stuff. Let me know what you think. And so I know you had a wolf stencil that I made you, but I have these stencils handy, so I'm going to kind of use them as a guide, okay? And so yours is going to be a really awesome wolf. Mine, I either got a little chunky pig, or I've got some alpaca, but you know what? They work the same. So you have two options. You can either trace like this. So I'll do one like this just so you can see. Of course, this has to be all the way dry. So I can either trace like this, and remember, you can bring it down more, but especially if there's like black down here, you're not going to see it. So you kind of want to have it kind of up a little higher. You don't want to be floating or perfectly on top. Maybe put a little below the line at least, as you can see there. Whoop. And so here's one way to do it. I can either trace it. And so I'm showing you both ways so you can decide. It's up to you. See how I'm holding it? You can even tape it down or have somebody help you hold it. And so I'm literally just tracing around my pig. Take your time. Okay, there's no rush. In all these videos, I'd love for you to take your time, okay? And if you have any suggestions, you guys let me know. Let me know if there's something you want to draw. Maybe the pups. Remember, we were going to do your dog's watercolor? That'd be so cool. And if your buddy has a dog or a pet or something he'd like to draw, let me know. Or you guys can do all your dogs together. All right, so see, that's sketched out like that. It's really light. So one option I have is to literally just take my black and a thin brush and color that in. Okay, so at that point, if I wanted to, I could trace it like where I went. Like this and like that. And then I could just actually color that in. So that is one way to do it. And it comes out nice, and that's sometimes people like that because they can alter the shape as they go, or it's just your style. That is the way that you like to work with the cutout, which is I gave you one cutout, one or two cutouts like that. Or with your stencil, I'll do this stencil this way. So we'll leave that, and you get the whole point. You color it in. And again, you can have somebody hold it down. If you have painter's tape or any kind of tape that won't ruin, like Scotch tape, something kind of light tape, not like heavy masking tape that'll pull off your paint. You can use some paint tape or Scotch tape, or have your friend hold it for you. Okay, let's see how I got it taped down. So you can either use a sponge. If you need one, I could drop one off for you. Ooh. So you could use the sponge, or you could just use a regular old paintbrush. It's totally fine. Sorry, I just dripped my headphones in white paint. No. Okay, so I'll move that aside. Okay, so you can take any kind of brush you want that's going to go on pretty thick, or a thinner brush if you're kind of nervous. So really anything you feel comfortable with. And what you're going to do, you're going to take that black and you're going to dab it. See how I'm dabbing it? I'm not going back and forth. That part's really important. So I'm dabbing it. Up and down motion. You could go on thick in an up and down motion. Definitely not a back and forth motion. Right? Okay. You can let that dry or sit. Once that's done, you're going to lift upward. Up. Not to the side because it'll smear. And there you have that option. And you could see with this option, sometimes there's more room for mistakes. And that's when I can go in and I can kind of adjust whatever I need to, like I'm going to straighten that, fix any lines. Here, it kind of went through so you can't see his foot. That's okay, because that could just mean his foot's closer, or I can go in and clean it up if I wanted to. If I wanted to clean that up, I could always use some water and pull off the paint in between the legs right there. And that way you can see through his legs, and that starts to come off. And I can always reattach what I need to and do that. See? So it's the same for your howling wolf. Is you can either do what I did here and trace it. And that way you kind of have more control over your paint. Or you can go in with the other stencil. And then this way, the reason I showed you both is so that you could decide what you like. I have a feeling like if you're kind of a perfectionist, you'll like this part, the part where I just traced it. And then you can also do that with your regular stencil. Just trace with pencil inside the stencil. You know, and you could see how this came out. Maybe a little more precise, and I could take my time. So it's up to you. But this looks great as well. It doesn't have to be perfect. So again, if you wanted to use this kind of stencil, you can go in with a pencil and trace like that too. And that way you have an eraser and then you can just color it in. So I've got my little pigs. You guys will have your wolves. And that's it. That's the final step of that one part. If you wanted to, there's a whole bunch of things you can do. So you can see here, I added some stuff. You know, I added some grass, some trees. So if you wanted, you can go in and say, all right, well, I'm going to add a little bit of grass on the side. And you could even go over this bottom part. If you wanted, you could add some grass, like flowers, whatever you want to add. You can add like a little tree here with black. It's totally up to you. And you remember how we did that lava tree, so you kind of know how we do trees. And I could even like kind of frame this. As a tree. And you don't have to go as fast as me. Just remember the trees are thicker towards the base, like down here, and they get thinner. Same for like the branches are thicker at the base and you pull up to get thinner. So if you wanted, you could do a couple trees on the side. You could do a little bit of grass. If you want to get really creative, I actually want you to just explore right now. Make mistakes. Mistakes are good, especially at this point in your art learning and your art education and creative education. Mistakes are all going to help you learn faster, okay? So you can actually go in and add flowers if you want to add like a little thing they're eating out of. Again, you're going to have wolves, so you can add something else. You can take your pencil and draw out like a pack, like a little baby wolf, or you can draw something else out. Whatever you feel like. You can put a guitar leaning on the tree. It's up to you. And if you're saying, okay, I just want to start simple, I don't want to ruin my painting, you can definitely just do the wolf. But I want to let you know I'm open for you trying new things and messing up and making mistakes. And when you do mess up, remember that it's a good thing. The more you mess up, the better you get, okay? Now for your stencil care, mine is paper, so mine are meant to be dumped after they're used, or let it dry. I could reuse it again. For your stencil, it's plastic, so you can rinse it off after, and it should be fine, okay? So anyways, I think that's it. I miss you guys so much. I actually have a second video for you this week, and it's a little bit of music. And then I'll have a sketch video for you next week, okay? And the sketch video is something that you guys could practice on your own, and all of you can go home and practice. It's really simple. So a sketch video is going to be simple shapes and shading. So you'll just need a paper and something to write on and a pencil. That's it for next week, okay? Miss you guys. I hope you guys are having fun, jumping on the trampoline, enjoying the dogs, and just creating and being yourselves. Have a good one. Thanks for creating with me, guys.